I have a dilemma that I've been dealing with for the past couple of years in my adventures of dating women, right? Well, not dating in the sense that it's a serious relationship, but more so just talking, like the talking stage. And let me know if you guys have ever had the same issue. Now, here's the dilemma, or let me give you some context, right? So from the title, you already understand what I'm gonna talk about. It's about how the women that you like don't necessarily like you back, and vice versa, right? The women that you don't like are the ones who like you. So it's a bit of a psychological question, I think, because here's what I noticed, right? And by the way, when I say I like, I don't necessarily mean I like them as a person. It's mostly just like physically, right? I'm attracted to certain women more physically than some other ones, and those ones that I'm attracted to most are the ones that are not attracted to me most. If, that's the simplest way of putting it, but let me explain. So let's say I have two women in front of me, right? Let's say I meet woman A on Monday somewhere, and I get her number, right? And then I meet woman B somewhere else, and I get her number as well, and I start talking to both. And let's say that I like woman A more physically, right? I find her more attractive. She's more my type. Now, obviously, because I like her more, I'm gonna try and be a little bit more. I don't know how to explain it, but I'll try and show that more, right? I'll try and show that more. Whether it's like by trying to talk to her more, or just like giving her more attention and shit. Whereas with woman B, I don't care that much. So I'll talk when I feel like it. I won't respond quickly, uh, and yada yada, right? Like just imagine talking to someone you don't necessarily like that much, and you don't care if they stop talking to you. That's the best way I can explain it. So here's what I noticed: the women who I talk to, the way I talk to woman A, which is giving a lot of attention and sending texts and shit, usually don't show the same interest. Whereas the way I talk to woman B, which is kind of like cold-ish, almost like an asshole. I don't want to say an asshole, like I'm not being mean, but I'm not giving her the same attention that I would give another one that I'm attracted to more than her. She would get more attached. So, and this has happened to me multiple times. So this is the conclusion that I came up with. Women don't want you to be texting them or just interacting with them like as if as if uh, as if they are your main point of interest, right? Even if you have other shit going on in your life, they need to see that. So here's what I noticed. When I talk to a girl that I'm not necessarily uh, afraid of losing from my life, those are the ones that they get attached. And how does that show in the way I interact with them? It shows in a way where I'm not necessarily uh, present all the time. So I text her like a couple times a day, uh, if I feel like it. Uh, she'd be the one doing the effort to text me. She'd be the one texting first most of the time. But at the same time, sometimes I show a lot of attention. So I'd like send her texts or like send her snaps, whatever, like whatever the platform you're texting on. Uh, and then most of the time it's not that. It's just me like being not as present. And I noticed that this way of interacting with women is what gets them hooked the most. So when you text another woman, what the fuck am I even talking about? When you text a woman a lot, she loses interest. This is the main. Well, not texting, I guess. When you interact with a woman a lot, she loses interest because she does not want a man who's always available for her. you gotta be distant a little bit. So it's almost like a game, right? Like you gotta push and pull her, pull her sometimes by showing interest and interacting with her, and then push her some other times by not being as present. Now here's my problem with this. Once I figured this out and I started applying it, it really works. These women are so weird, dude. They want someone who is basically, I don't know how to explain it. They want a guy who shows interest in them, but also shows disinterest. Um, so the conclusion that you can draw for yourself is that if you want if you want if you want the girl to be interested in you, don't show interest all the time. Right? It's like a balance. It's like a game, a psychological game. But the problem is, what I'm worried about is that I'm scared that someday I'll meet a girl that I really like, and I'll have to play this game, right? And it's not natural. Like it's not natural. It does not come naturally. You really gotta think about it, cause I wanna be natural with the girl I like, right? I wanna text her when I feel like it. I want her to text me back when she feels like it. But now I'm gonna have all these pre-made ideas of how to interact with this girl because of my previous experiences with other women, and now it's gonna be a little confusing. So I'll be like, oh shit, I really like this girl. I like her personality. I like how she looks and all that. But then, do I tell her that? Do I give her compliments? Or do I not say anything? Do I text her like once a day or once a week? So, what is like, how does that work, right? So, that's my problem now is that uh, from my past experiences, since I figured that women don't like to be the main center of attention in your life, and that's what draws them to you, then how do you manage that if you actually like the girl? So far, that hasn't happened to me. So I've kind of only been experimenting, right? Um, the closest that it happened to me is that I'd meet a bunch of girls, and some of them I find more attractive than other ones, and those attractive ones are the ones that I would try and put more effort in. It all goes back to how much effort you put. The more effort you put into interacting with the girl, the less interested she'll be, which is really fucked up when you think about it. But that's what I noticed. Like the less effort I put into the interactions and texting and showing attention, the more these girls get attached and the more they text me. Bro, I had this one girl, she was texting me every fucking day, and I was dry as fuck. I'd never text first. First of all, I'd never text first. She'd always text me first. Um, she'd always text me first. I'd be dry as fuck. I only text her when I feel like it or when I want to see her. Um, and this bitch was attached like crazy. Whereas with other girls, where I'm a little bit more interactive, right? It's not the same effect. I don't know why. It's really fucking weird. Let me know if any of you have had the same experiences, because I'm really curious. But the thing is about that girl is that that's not how I've always been. So when we first met, I was showing some kind of attention, right? We were texting back and forth. I noticed that she likes my vibe. I liked her vibe. Uh, but it kind of happened naturally. I just lost interest. But the fact that I lost interest and I was showing less interest made her more interested than she was before. So what that tells me is that there needs to be a kind of combination between you the girl liking you a little bit and you pulling back. So as soon as she starts liking you, like let's say you've never met this girl, right? Let's say you saw her somewhere, got her number, right? I think the best way to make her like fall for you is this, right? Let's say you'd start texting a little bit, right? You'd start texting, you get a feel for how she is, she gets a feel for how you are, and if there's some kind of vibe going on between you two, and you like her and she likes you, keep that going. Keep the vibe going. Text more and more, let's say for a couple days, right? And maybe even meet if you can, right? Now, if you meet, that's the best because you can really show who you are in person. That's what I usually do. I try to meet as soon as possible because the more you text before meeting in person, the less chances of that going anywhere. So you text for a couple of days, you meet, and when you meet, that's when you gotta like pull your A game, right? You gotta be on your A game physically, riz wise, how you talk, all of it, how you're dressed. Now, once you've made that first impression, keep texting again. Keep texting for a bit. And maybe meet a second time. Now, if the second time goes really well, that's when you start pulling back, right? That's when you start pulling back slowly, right? But when I say pulling back, I don't mean turn into an asshole. Just give her less attention. So let's say if you're texting her every couple hours, or maybe if you're texting her a lot, change that. If you've been texting a lot, change that. Text every couple hours. Focus on other shit. I don't know, go play video games for all I care. But don't be on her ass all the time. And then this girl is gonna be like, oh shit, this dude changed. Like, what the fuck is going on, right? Like, you're playing with her mentality. Like, she'll be confused. And that's what you want. You wanna be in her head. It does not matter how. As as long as you're in her head, you're winning, right? Now, when you pull back, you're gonna notice. She's gonna start texting you more and more. Now play that game for a bit. It's dangerous because you can't go over the edge. If you go over the line, she's gonna lose interest. So play that game, but be careful how you play it. So pull back a little bit, let her be in her feels, let her be confused, and then come back and maybe ask her to meet again. And just keep doing this, right? Keep doing this for as long as it takes until she's obsessed. That's what I noticed, and I've tried this multiple times, and it works every single time, dude. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how easily this works. I've had girls like texting me, do you hate me? Asking me if I hate them because I text less. And then that's when you're like, oh shit, I got this. This is easy. Because if she texts you that, you know she likes you. Because no girl would text you that if she does not care about you. But that's just one example, right? She'd be like, oh, do you hate me now? Why are you texting me less? And just be like, oh no, I've been busy, right? Some shit like that. Come up with something cool. Don't say I was playing video game. Say like, say I was working on some fucking side project, right? Some bullshit like that. But yeah, I was just thinking about this the other day, and I thought I'd make a video about it because it fucking pisses me off how these girls work. Their brain works in reverse. The more you show them interest, the less they like you. So it's almost like they want someone who does not give a fuck about them, but only gives a fuck about them sometimes. So yeah, that's all I can think about now. Bye.